Aiboan. Aiboan. Good. How many of you have listened to me before? How many of you have listened to me before? Put your hands up. How many of you? Never. That's good. So I am going to say something that I will tell him most of the time. There are two rules. I am, as you know who I am, it's up there. When I lecture, I am your friend for 99% of the time only. Understand? Do you understand? Yeah. And the rest of the 1% of the time, half of that, that is 0.5%, I am a general. You understand? Do you understand? Yeah. You know what a general is? When a general gives an order, all the soldiers comply. Right? There's no way that you can disobey the general. Understand? Good. Right. And the rest of the half percent of the time I am a schoolmaster, which means schoolmasters those days when we were small used to come with a cane and the schoolmaster punishes. Understand? Okay. Unfortunately, I got late today. Therefore, I can't punish you the way that I used to punish everybody who come late. So I had to be punished first. Right? And one of my very good friends, who is a motivational speaker, told me once, whenever he goes for a lecture in Sri Lanka, all the Sri Lankans start sitting from behind. Right? And I also had my own experience. If you go to India or any other country in South Asia, if you go for a lecture, the first rows get filled up first. So I want all those who are in the back to come and occupy the first two rows. It's an instruction, order. Do you understand? Everybody who is in the back rows have to come and sit in the front. Okay, that's good. Come. I would like you to come this side if possible, like I can see your faces better. Right? Good. Now, I am going to give an order, which means until you comply, I will not allow you to stop. Are you ready with me? Yes or no? Yes. I thought I am speaking to a set of people who have mouths. There's a story that one king wanted to check how many of the men are scared of the wives. Right? So he called all the people in the country and said, now all those of you who are scared of the wives, get on to the left side, and all those who are not scared of the wife, get on to the right side. So everybody followed and all of them were on the left hand side. Now one person was on the right hand side, just like some of these people. Okay. Then he called and said, in front of everybody, come. You are a brave man. You are the only one in my country who is sort of scared of the wife. Tell me why, how you stayed there. Before I came here, my wife told me, don't do what others are doing. So just like that, I am sure your girlfriends or boyfriends or your husbands and wives have told you not to talk when you come to this class. Is that correct? Is that correct? That's why you are talking. Right? I want you to participate in this lecture. That's the way I lecture. I don't lecture, I get into a discussion with you. So I want a feedback. When I ask questions, I need an answer, very clear-cut answer. Are you ready? Ready?
Yes.
Good. මං හිතුවා නිකන් ගෑනු වගේ මේ හැලපට දිලා තින්නද කන්න නේද? හැලප වලට ශක්තිය එන්නේ නැද්ද? අර කැදබිල වගේ. I don't want like that, right? You all are going to be professional engineers. I want you to be professional engineers, not anyone else. Okay? Now I am going to give an order. I want you to comply. You are ready, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Higher. Higher, 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 higher. No, you can raise it higher. You can raise it higher. Higher, higher, higher. No. You can raise your hand higher than that. Come. You come here, my friend. Okay, all the others put your hands up. Please sit. Come. I'm going to call most of you, right? So don't think that only he got caught. Come. Tell who you are and from where you came to the entire class.
I'm Vimal Disanayake. Now I'm working as a senior mechanical engineer for Grand Hyatt project.
What project?
Grand Hyatt project.
Grand Hyatt project. Wow. Can I get a room once you finish? Right?
Yeah, maybe in 2 years' time.
Very good. Sit down and show what you did, right? Raise your hand. Higher. What did he do? None of you, only 2 of them followed after he did that. So give him a big round of applause. Big round! Okay, thank you. What's your name? Vimal. What did Vimal do? He thought out of the box. Number 1. Number 2, when I gave him an order, he tried to do it for the best of his ability. Number 3, and the most important thing of a child engineer, you can't achieve things by being in your comfort zone. You are nicely seated in the air-conditioned room, thinking that you can do what I told you to do. I said, it's an order. By being in the comfort zone. That's the first lesson that I'm going to give you. If you want to be a professional engineer, if you want to achieve things and be counted, you know what you mean by counted, right? I counted it out from all of you. To be counted and identified and to achieve things, you have to get out of the comfort zone, think out of the box and achieve to the best of your ability. Are you ready? Yes or no?
Yes.
Right. I want you to keep that in your mind as long as you're a child engineer. Because we like you to be people who achieve things, people who go all out and meet the requirements of the society. Okay, let's, in my presentation there's a little bit of general talk, and then I'll get on to the introduction to the IESL B paper. Why are we doing these lectures? We found, I have been doing this process for more than perhaps 20 years, right? There have been a very miserable state of affairs when it comes to B paper. People are hopelessly failing, right? So we thought we'll now start coaching them up. I think we started this lecture series about 10 years ago, right? And from that time we have been trying to coach, and now we see results. How many of you heard this story before? How many of you have heard this story before? Anyone? Anyone have heard this story from me before? Good. There was a man by the name Herbert Clark Hoover. Okay. So this guy was he was traveling in a steamer. You know, steamer is a steamship. Long time ago, from London to New York. And those days, a steamer ship took about 2.5 months from shore to shore. London, New York, was the Atlantic. So while he was in the first class cabin, and those days first class cabins are very luxurious, there was another lady in a first class cabin as well. So 2.5 months, young man and a woman, they get friendly. Okay, so they got friendly, and they were sitting in for morning breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I don't know, they had some good leisure time, and then they saw the New York Harbor, and they were approaching the New York Harbor one fine day in the morning, and they were sitting down for breakfast, and that was the last breakfast that they were going to have together on the ship. And this young lady asked a question from this man, and this is the question she asked: I hope you will forgive my dreadful curiosity, but I should like to awfully to know. Now, this is the kind of English that they used at that time, right? I hope you will forgive my dreadful curiosity, but I should like to awfully to know. I wanted to complete the second part of the sentence. What was the second question? What was the question? To know what? Come on, I need some answers. Did your wives tell you not to talk? Yes? Right? They told you not to talk, right? Imagine right, what is the question? Come on! I can't waste my time, What is the question? She asked. Do you have any idea about me? Okay, good one, good one. Any more? Any more? Any more solutions? Yes, I can see that lady mumbling something in specs. Do you have anything? What is the question? No. What is the question she asked? When will we meet again? Good. Now IES are coming up. What are the questions you would have asked? Good. Anything else? Come on. කිසිම ඔලේ මුකුත්ම නැද්ද? නැත්තම් බයද? බය වෙන්න ඕනේ මත් එක්ක. මං කියනවා 99% I'm the friend killer. I'm still not the schoolmaster. I'll tell you when I come to the schoolmaster. What is the question she asked? From that side? Anything else? She asked, what do you think of me, and when do you meet again? Any other questions? You want to really end the journey? But they have no option. The ship is going to dock in the New York Harbor. You have to end the journey. What else? Okay, I get what you mean, nah? Okay. The question she asked is this: what is your profession? Then he said, I am an engineer. And you know what the response of the lady was? What is the response of the lady? What is the response of the lady? She said, I am an engineer. What is the response of the lady? Any idea? What is the response? I am asking you. You had no chance. Now I am the schoolmaster. Tell me. I am asking you. I am pointing the finger at you. You. Third row. Get up. I am the schoolmaster. What is the response of the lady? What is the response of the lady? So he asked, what is your profession? He said, I am an engineer. What is the response? I like to marry you. Fantastic. Okay, thank you. But you know what happened? Those days the ladies wore the frocks like this, about 1 meter in diameter. You know why? The first class first class people, I said they were traveling in a first class cabin. The purpose of having these large skirts is not to allow any commoner to get near them. So if they want to shake hands, they have to do it like this. So this skirt immediately shrunk, and her chin, and she brought it back and said, oh, I thought you were a gentleman. I thought you were a gentleman. So this was the attitude of the people about engineers at that time. And this particular man went on to become the 31st president of the United States of America, the only engineer president, right? Who has after him only the Hoover Dam was built in America, right? So those days the engineers were smelling. Can't get near any engineer. They wore overalls. They had dirty hands. They were rough and tough and often spoke in filth. Had very bad mannerisms. Therefore not recognized in society. So at that time, engineers were not recognized in society. They were not called gentlemen, right? So that was the state at that time. Come, young lady, this is your seat. So she's not the young lady, right? That lady has lived long time ago. So these are the perceptions of engineers. Now even when I joined the CEB way back in 1979, there were engineers who used to come to work in shorts, stockings and brown shoes. Sometimes they had a customer and also pipe pay. Right? That was the class of engineers, like the planters, those days. The planters used to go in stockings, shorts and in a customer and a pipe pay. Believe me, not so long ago. I'm older, right? It was in 1979, right? And they spoke in filth. Yes, come. Young man, come. The seats are here. Right? So, even at that time, most of the engineers used to speak in filth. But now, you can talk in filth to your workers. If you talk, they will know what to do with you. Right? But now, the engineers are well recognized in society, have clean hands, wear perfume, good mannerisms, the society look up to them. Is that correct? But do we live up to that? That is the biggest question. Are we prepared to live up to that? The expectation of the society to hold us in high esteem. That is why we go to this extent of putting you through a series of tests before we can recognize you as fully qualified professional engineers. Right? That's why sometimes you may think, God, no, we want you to be in a place where people can recognize you. Unfortunately, I'm not going to do anything more than this. I have done a series on who is a chartered engineer. Right? If you get a chance, you come and listen to me later on. So, when you have no other place to go for a definition of an engineer, you go to the same place, which is the Wikipedia. Right? Now, one more thing I must tell you about the Wikipedia and all the things that are coming up in the internet. Don't believe everything that is in the internet. Internet is not tested information. Same thing with Wikipedia. It's a collection of well-known thoughts, but for what 80%, 90% is correct. So I also turn to Wikipedia as much as you do when you don't have any, when you are in doubt. So I got this definition from the Wikipedia. What does it say? An engineer is a professional practitioner of engineering. Gentlemen, you have to come right in front, right? An engineer is a professional practitioner of engineering concerned with, I said front, or a related singular, English candle, front right? Thank you. An engineer is a professional practitioner of engineering concerned with applying scientific knowledge. Come close. Scientific knowledge, mathematics, and engineering. I am sure you knew the scientific and mathematics, right? Scientific and mathematics, you knew. You studied science and mathematics. So engineering is based on scientific and mathematical knowledge. And more than that, ingenuity. To develop solutions for technical problems. Engineers design materials, structures, machines, and systems, while considering the limitations imposed by practicality, safety, and cost. I would now add the words environment. limitations imposed by practicality, safety, cost and environment. That is the bounds of our work. It is limited. Right? A scientist can think about light ages and light years, and they can go to the depth of the universe. You can't go, my dear boys and girls. We are living in a practical world. You are building structures here. You are designing material here. You are developing systems for this limited space. Right? So you are bound by the practicality. The word engineer derived from the Latin root ingenium, meaning cleverness. Are you clever, guys? Are you clever, guys? Only few. Are you clever?
Yes.
Are you clever?
Yes.
Come on. I don't want you to be not clever engineers, guys. If you are not clever, please leave the room. Those who did not say clever, please leave the room. I don't want to see any engineer who is not clever. Is that understood?
Yes.
Understood?
Yes.
If you are clever, what do you do? Now I am the schoolmaster. Right? If you are clever, you pat your own back. Come on, pat your own back. Pat your own back, everybody. Pat your own back. Higher. You patted your own back. I did not come and pat your back. You patted your own back and said, hey guy, I am clever. Did you say that? You decided that you are clever. You engineers are clever. Keep that in mind. You are second to none. Okay? You guys are going to be clever. We want you to be in that frame of mind. So engineers are grounded in applied sciences, and their work in research and development is distinct from the basic research focus of scientists. The work of engineers forms the link between scientific discoveries and the application that meet the needs of the society. Right? For a scientist, if I ask the scientist to tell me the weight of this small device, right? You know how that person will estimate the. I think you were told given instructions, right? You must first thing learn to follow instruction how it comes from a small man or big man. Okay. So anybody comes and says, please send them here, I am not going to talk anymore. Right. To a scientist, you ask that person to tell me the weight. So he will analyze all the elements in this particular thing. The electronic devices, the materials, the plastics, the metal and everything. Silicon and everything. Get down to the atomic number, convert it to molecular weight, add up everything and tell me the weight is 80 plus 80.36708953286 grams, and on the dot that will be the weight. Got it? For an engineer, what is the weight? Dumb. You guys are dumb. For an engineer, what is the weight? What is the weight of this for an engineer? Huh? 80 grams. Now why I am telling this is this. I also teach in certain places. And I have given them an assignment. And these guys came out, some of the people came out with assignments running up to 6 decimal places. Does it have any meaning? It doesn't have any meaning. Unless, of course, the units require that to be like that. If you put a huge number in with a smaller number, of course, the decimals will be very larger unit. This will be very high. But for all practical purposes, you have to take something that is measurable, tangible, accessible. Right? Of course, we are now in the nanotechnology age. If you are working in nano material, maybe you run into 6 decimal places of the meter scale. And if you take nanometers, okay, maximum couple of decimal places, or maybe 1. So keep that in mind. I have gone through about 50 batches of engineers. That is, I am about 40 years or 38 years passed out. I have seen about people maybe 10-15 years before, and also maybe that 10-15 years down. So maybe 60 batches of engineers have gone through in my professional career. Still, I see people making this kind of mistake. It is nonsense. You have to be practical. When you can answer, very practical. But if you told me that, when I said it's 80 plus something, if you told me it's 100 grams, that's also nonsense. Right? You can't say approximate this to 100 grams. Okay, if it's 80 plus something, okay, tell 80 grams. Maximum 2 decimal places, right? So these are very important things for you all to understand. But I find people making these kind of mistakes over and over again. There's no place for such things in engineering. So therefore, the central focus of engineering profession is the application of scientific knowledge to meet the societal needs. What do you see in the middle? What is in the middle? Engineering. What is the shape of that engineering? What is the shape of that you know commonly? What is it? Sorry? Ellipse. That's a very scientific answer. I am asking for a common answer. What does it look like? Rubber ball? Eye? Good? Lens? You are not in common words, no? Udire kanne monada api? Cyber kade gilla? What do you eat? Italy. I like to eat Italy a lot. Right? Italy is a common man's food. Or even vade is a common man's food. We just had vade. It looks like a vade or a Italy. Right? So engineering is for common man. Don't forget that. We are doing engineering for the common man. Right? Because engineering is the intersection of our own knowledge of science and mathematics and also our cleverness that intersects with the needs of the society. And if there anyone here who is not willing to meet the needs of the society, please get out. The door is open. You have no place in engineering if you are not prepared to meet the needs of society. Keep that in mind very well. There is no place for engineers to say, I am not prepared to work for the people of this country, or for that matter any other world, any other country. And some of you migrate to Australia and New Zealand and Canada. Wherever you may go, you have to meet the needs of society. And without that, there is no engineering. In short, I start off by saying people look up to us. We are held in very high esteem in society. If you don't fulfill the wishes of the society, the same engineer who is at that higher pedestal will be brought down to zero. Boru engineer. Wadak nathi mihe. Do you like to be called like that? Do you like to be called like that? Useless fellow. Do you call like that? No. None of us like to be called like that. So please live up to the standard that the society is expecting us to be there. In high pedestal, and that can be only achieved if you meet the needs of society. Please keep that in mind. Now switch off your phones. Right? Don't disturb, switch off your phones or put them in the silent mode. Right. So we have to have our scientific and mathematical knowledge, and we have to fulfill the needs of the society. But after all, we are all human beings, aren't we? We are all human beings, right? Yes or no? Are human beings? Yes. If we are human beings, we also have our own personal traits. Right? A person has an analytical, even the brain is like that. There are two parts. An analytical part and a creative part. What is that brain, part of the brain that is creative? Which side? Left or right? Right side is the creative brain. Right? And analytical brain is the left side. That's why most of us write in the right hand. Right? So, We have in us the creativity and the analytical skills. To higher degree or lower degree, it depends on our own personality. Never mind, never mind. No one is superior to the other. Some people are highly creative, some people are highly analytical, but we are all human beings with our own traits. We require that kind of diversity in this society. On the other hand, the engineers may pursue creative efforts without involving analytical skills. And one may apply analytical skills without entering the domain of creativity. That's what we do in engineering day to day. I'll give an example. For example, as engineers apply commercial software, most of you may be applying commercial software. If you go in the electrical field, you have all kinds of load flow analysis and all kinds of line designing software. Absolutely idiot boxes, black boxes. You put in data, you get out something. Do you have any creativity there? Nothing. Put in something, you think something out. But you require your analytical skills for that. The application of analytical skills per se may involve little or no creativity in that instance. On the other hand, an engineer may design an ergonomic office space with little analytical skills. You know what ergonomic office space is? Anybody who knows this? What is the ergonomics? Yes or no? What does it mean? Huda?
Comfort level of the occupants.
Very good. Doing something to improve the comfort level of the occupants. Ergonomic office space. I'm so happy about that. So, let us now look at the whole thing in perspective. The pie is still there, idli is still there, the vada is still there. Without that, we are not engineers. But on the other hand, some of us have higher analytical skills, some of us have higher creative skills, some of us have something of both. I'm going to ask you a question. Don't feel shy. You are all individuals. You have your own skills, your own rights, traits, right? I just want to get a feeling. How many of you fall into the category A? Please, be genuine, nah? Think genuinely and answer me. That is, you are highly analytical engineers. You are all engineers. And you pat your back and say, we are clever guys, right? So how many of you belong to the category A? Who are highly analytical? Yes? Put your hand up. Hi. Only two people. From where are you? Huh?
I'm working as a personal engineer at JC.
Where?
JC Enterprise.
JC Enterprise. You? CCB. I fear, because if you don't have analytical skills, most of the buildings will be falling apart that you are designing. We need a lot of analytical engineers. I don't know why you didn't put your hands up. How many of you belong to the category C who are creative engineers? How many of you? Yeah? Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5? 4 guys only. Where do you work? Huh? Noatec. You? Road development? Huh? GN Associates? Salasilanka. Who belongs to category B? Anito mukarat ne. Mara porwal tikak me gollo. Ambu atyanta. Okay. But you have to be genuine, right? You know, the creative engineers, we require them. So I'll define them. So sector A engineers who said we are good in analysis. Their characteristics are these. These represent the intersection of purely analytical talents with engineering domain. These may be used to represent engineering science and ability to model complex systems and predict their response to various inputs under various conditions. This segment of engineering has of course been the subject of intense development over the last half century and has benefited most directly from the availability of fast digital computer. Do you agree, my friend? These are the guys who find out softwares and all kinds of tools when we are grappling with difficult problems to solve. So we require large number of analytical engineers. If there are no analytical engineers, there is no progression in the engineering science. Right? So keep that in mind. So if you have some sort of inclination, further your analytical skills so that we have a lot of engineering knowledge built up in this country. Okay? Then section C. Those who said we are good in creativity. I had only 4 people. The intersection of our creative capacity with the engineering domain can be viewed as representing those sudden intuitive leaps, often responsible for revolutionary advances in technology, called significant novelty, as well as those aspects of engineering not yet fully supported by engineering science that remain more an art than a science. Can you give me one example of a creative thing that we are using most of the time in most of these fluid mechanics, thermodynamics? Some kind of things we are using? Fluid mechanics? I mean, I have studied fluid mechanics. What are the creative solutions that people have got? Are you not using empirical formulas? Are they supported by analytical analysis? Nonsense. By repetitive experiments, people develop empirical formulas through creativity. Okay, let me give you another problem. Supposing the analytical guys tell you that we have large, I'm working with the nerd center, you come there, you can see a large building designed by Dr. Kulasingam, right? Huge dome-like structure, huge one, and no columns whatsoever to be seen anywhere. Supposing the the analysis shows that there's a huge column right in front of this auditorium. What will happen? Is that acceptable? In auditorium, large column in front. And whatever you may do, the analysis shows without this column, this building will collapse. What will you do? Now, there are 4 guys who said we are good in analysis, creativity. What will you do? What will you do now? You have to have this column and you have to have this auditorium. What will you do? Come on, I need you to think. You clap, huh? Sorry? Entrance? No, right in the middle. Whichever you come, it's in the right in the middle. You can't change it. Change the entrance won't do. What will you do? What do you do as creative engineers? Some said you have creativity in you. Where is that? Where is the creativity? It's auditorium. So that's not going to help. Auditorium right in the middle and people there can't see me. What will you do? What will you do? Where is your creativity? Come on, you said you are creative guys. Where's your creativity? Huh? Huh? Glass also is blocking? No, anyway. Huh? What? Screen. That is one way out. Yeah, okay. But still you don't have that kind of comfort. If I just imagine some of these fellows are behind that column and only see me in the screen somewhere there, will they feel happy? I don't feel happy. What will you do? Come on, where's your creativity?
Find a way to share the load by other members.
No, that's not the way. That's no way out. You analytical guys said nothing doing, you have to have this column here. What will you do as an engineer? Ah! He's a clever guy. True to his word, he's a clever guy. Just arrange the seats in a fan arrangement and put the podium there. Everybody can see you. Right? So these are the guys who are creative. Actually, most of you work in teams, right? You don't work in isolation, you may work in isolation, but once you come out this way, you talk to your friends and come out with try to solve the difficult problems. You have guys like this, which are grappling with the problem that you can't solve. All of a sudden someone says, hey Macha, let's do it this way. Nobody has thought about it. So they come out with creative ideas. So we require, as an engineer, creativity, analytical skills, and there are some guys who are highly creative and some guys who are highly analytical. We need all of them. So if you have any trait that belongs to any of these three categories, try to further that. Don't try to, just because that guy is good in analysis, don't try to run and do that. Just because that guy is highly creative, don't try to go and do that. But let them develop their own trait. But we are all human beings after all. We are left brain and right brain. Some of us use the left brain better than the right brain, and the others the other way around. So that is all required. And sector B, as most of you said, and also would like to show me that you belong to this B category, the intersection of knowledge and needs with both and need of the society with both creative and analytical capability can be used to represent the engineering design and much real world problem solving. This sector includes activities ranging from developing innovative products and processes to creating an innovative bridge design to developing a new control process for petrochemical production, so on and so forth. So, how many of you have been to Japan? How many have been to Japan? Ayo, who have been to Japan? No one? None? No one? Good. Go to Japan. Right? That's right advice. In Tokyo there's a river, and when you take a cruise of the river, you can see 38 bridges. Every bridge design is different to the other. They call it the Museum of Bridges. Right? That is creativity with analytical skills. You require certain strength, you require certain span, all that is blended with creativity. So that is what engineer can do even a country like Japan. So you also had other three sectors, sector 1, sector 2, sector 3, meeting the societal needs. Okay? Sector 1, that is this one, represent the intersection of analytical skills with societal needs outside the bounds of scientific knowledge. This might include economics and philosophy. Lord Buddha was in this world meeting a very dire need of society, right? Using his own immense power of thinking, right? Met the needs of the society using high analytical skills. Same with economics, right? Sector 3, who are these people? Where do you find these people in Colombo? Sector 3 people who have high creativity outside the bounds of scientific knowledge. Where do you find them? You go on a Sunday morning somewhere, you find these people. Where are they? Who are these people? Come on. I feel very lonely. Where? Yeah, you said you want to say something, right? No, that guy. Where do you find these people? Sector 3 people. Huh? Ah, fantastic. පොළවේ පය ගහලා ජීවත් වෙනවලු අරමිය පොළවේ පාක් ගහලා ඉන්නේ. ඊදර විහාර මහා දේවි පාකේ පැත්තේ යනවා. ඉතින් කාගේ අතල්ලගෙන යනවා. ඉතින් කමක් නැහැ ඒකට. යනකොට දකින්නවා you see the artists showing their artwork. Just imagine this world without artists. Right? Hopeless. Okay? Then we also have this kind of people who are in the category 2. Maybe used to represent those societal needs outside the bounds of scientific knowledge that require both analytical and creative skills. Perhaps including public policy, business administration, and music. Beethoven, all those Bach and Mantovaren, they develop music using analysis, combination of notes, combination of sounds, right? So you require that kind of people in this society to make this society more colorful and direct us also who are engineers also sometimes in the right path. So we can't forget, I just can't ignore the above real issues in society. So sometimes the engineers, we look down on artists, we look down on politicians, we look down on economists. You can't do that. We need them. So sometimes guide us and tell us, hey, you are doing the wrong thing. Okay? So engineers finally are creative problem solvers. Oh. So if you are hard up for a beer, can't find a beer can, to have some beer, this is what you do. So engineers are creative problem solvers. I start off by saying that guy, I forget your name, what is your? Vimal. He thought out of the box. He was creative. He solved the problem in a creative manner. All others could not do that. I want you to be like that. Find somehow a way of solving problems. So now getting to more serious stuff. What does Accreditation Board of USA say? The Accreditation Board of the Engineering and Technology, which is the largest engineering body in this whole world of USA, identifies engineering as that profession in which knowledge of the mathematical and natural sciences gained by study, experience and practice is applied with judgment to develop ways to utilize economically the materials of forces of nature for the benefit of mankind. Now, the words that I used are not mine. Everybody is talking about the needs of the mankind. Every perceivable engineering institution is talking about the meeting the needs of the society. As I told you, if you are not willing to meet the needs of society or the mankind, you have no place in engineering. Your place is in the jungle. Go into a cave and start meditating and emancipate yourself. That's the best thing you can do for the society. Get away from the society. But if you want to be an engineer, you have to be in the society and solve the problems of the society for the people. That is your mission. The moment you become a professional engineer, that's what people look up to you. That's why I'm taking so much of trouble to coach you up for this standing in the society. Right? Now, maybe it's not very clear to see, but you can always get this material from the IESL. All my presentations are there in the YouTube and everything, so download it. There are three categories of engineering practitioners, and their formation is in the educational level, right? So all of you guys fall into the first category. Of course, we call it for the moment the Washington Accord graduates. Of course, you all are not. We are not yet passed out the Washington Accord graduates from Sri Lanka. We got the Washington Accord only in the year 2014, June. So the first batch will be passing out maybe 2018 or something. They will be Washington Accord accredited graduates. That's not disqualification, right? A lot of people are making the mistake that some IESL got Washington Accord, I'm not Washington. Nonsense. For ages we didn't have Washington Accord. Only in 2014 we got the Washington Accord. And only 16 countries in the whole world have Washington Accord. Are the others not engineers? They are all engineers. But we pitch our education level at that. As some countries have managed to get in that rating. It's just that. It's a great thing for IESL. But that doesn't mean that you're not good engineers. You are engineers, good engineers. Because your education system has been somewhat there. Now the key word there, I'm not going to go into other two categories. The other one are Sydney Accord graduates, which is a 3-year degree, and Dublin Accord, which is a 2-year diploma course. Okay? So they have 3 different names, but I'm not going to go into those. I will only draw your attention to the last line. The range qualifier in several attribute statement uses the notion of complex engineering problems. You guys who fall into the category of full-fledged engineers who are trying to aspire to become the professional engineer are in a position to solve complex engineering problems. Now, complex engineering problems are the problems that you have never solved before. Now you may say, oh, he's talking nonsense. No, I'm not talking nonsense. Just think back. Every problem that you solve is that something that you have not solved, no one has solved before. Maybe there's a way of solving. And that way is well documented, very well taught in your courses. How to do a structural analysis, finite element methods, all that is known. But you do that to solve a complex engineering problem is unique, a unique design. If you are not competent to solve complex engineering problems, you cannot become a professional engineer. It's simple. You are made up for that. You patted your own back and say, we are clever guys. So use your cleverness. There are no cookbook solutions for your problems. You can't open a manual and say, hey, do this, you get an answer. That is not you. That is the second category of engineers. You want to be like them? You want to be like them? Look at a manual and solve a problem? Go and get the signature card. Don't come here. Go and join some other institution. The best we have offered you affiliate engineer. The affiliate engineer category is for the people with 3-year degrees who are able to solve broadly defined engineering problems. Broadly defined engineering problems are defined problems so that you have a solution following a series of procedures. You are not supposed to do that. You are supposed to be above them. Solving a problem by yourself using your ingenuity, cleverness. That is the most important thing. But the problem, the solving of a problem of a structural design of a particular building, though it looks 100% the same dimension, same load, everything, may differ because of soil condition. You know that better than me. I am an electrical engineer. So if you apply the same design to another place, that's what some people do. Unfortunately, even chartered engineers copy the designs and publish, they collapse. Then the very first thing I said, the people hold us in high esteem and look up to us, that position will be eroded, and we as chartered engineers do not like to see that happening. That's why we are going to this extent of trying to impress on you that we have to uphold our engineering knowledge. We have to further our engineering knowledge, skills. There's nothing called stopping learning. I'm 62 years old, I'm still learning. I'm still learning. It's very unfortunate that, when we were small, we were told by our mothers and fathers that you had to read and read and read and nothing but read. The morning before we even could take our breakfast, we used to read. Now, nobody reads. Biggest problem in the country. Nobody reads. You don't have to take a book and read now. You have reading on this idiot thing. Right? This idiotic thing can read, you can read anything. Anywhere you go. That's what most of you do anyway. I'm not blaming you. It's good. Use it wisely. Don't use this to play computer games. Right? If you have time, read something on this. For heaven's sake. Right? So reading is very important to gain knowledge and further your knowledge. Read journals. Right? Read newspaper articles, even the general ones. That are related to engineering. That's very important. And third category are the technicians. I am not going into detail. And this, of course, you can't read the whole thing, but I am going to draw your attention to this particular attribute. These are called attributes. The depth of knowledge. And you guys, the Washington Record guys, people should have fundamentals based first principles analytical approach. Keep this in mind. Fundamentals based first principles analytical approach. So even if you use a commercial software, the next time round try to develop that commercial software. Because that commercial software may have so much of limitations that are inbuilt. You know that. So to solve one of your problems, maybe you can improve that or write your own programs using your skills and knowledge. Don't allow that to rot. Most of us engineers allow our knowledge to rot. And recently I met a friend, some group of friends of mine. They asked me, Vachang, you are retired now, what are you doing? I said, I am teaching. You are teaching? Vachang, we can't remember a thing. Yes, I also didn't remember a thing after 36 years in this industry. When I got the chance to teach because I had a passion of teaching, I had to go back to the fundamentals of magnetic theory, which is way down in my memory, right? I have revised my magnetic theory, I have revised my AC theory, I have revised so many things and sharpened my knowledge. So go ahead and do that, please, please, please. You may not see the davas and the deltas and the partial differential equations that you learned in the mathematics in campus, but it is there in everything that you do. So if you get a problem that you cannot solve, try to go back to the first principles, fundamentals, start solving problems from there. I am not saying to do everything every day, go to fundamentals, but that should be in your lifeblood. You can't forget that first principles. I have seen some engineers giving crazy solutions. If you check the first principles, they are not there. So I throw them out. We senior engineers throw you out. We don't rate you as good engineers. If you can't answer a question, if somebody raises a fundamental issue, you can't answer, right? You're useless. I'll tell you straight to your face. Nobody will tell you that. Your boss might say, is that so? You might see your letter of firing next day. Because he will know that you're bluffing. Don't take your bosses lightly. They might be very good people to your face. I have to tell them to the face. If you are bluffing and doing something wrong, I tell them to the face. But otherwise, they won't learn. Right? But most of the people don't do that in Sri Lanka. But they will know that you are bluffing. So don't bluff. If you don't bluff, you have to go to the fundamentals. It's okay that you can't be doing fundamentals all the time and go to the first principle all the time. But you must have a sense. Right? You must have a sense. If for a column that you know is about 1 foot in length and 1 foot in height, cross section, if you get 3 feet and 2 feet, absolutely you know there's something wrong. Then you go back to the fundamentals and find out where have I gone wrong. That's what is required of a child engineer. And for that matter, any engineer. Okay? So please keep these things in mind. What do we need our engineers to be now? I am getting more into the B paper now. Right? What do we need our engineers to be? We need our engineers to listen with an open mind. When I say open mind, don't go and listen for the sake of listening. Have your minds open. I say, as that fellow said, keep all the options open. All the options open when you listen. Sometimes you may get an order that you think is undoable. Kira make karana me pistu kira hangi metil na dogulun. E bosa kine ka kira karana me na dogulun. But go there with open mind. Try to see how best you can do this. Right? And speak up. That's what most of us don't do. I don't see people speaking up here. You can't do that. Now that doesn't mean jabbering. That doesn't mean jack in the box. There are fellows who, for everything, they want to say something. Always start negative. Just because you are jack in the box and getting up and speaking, that doesn't mean you are going to be counted. Your box speaks sense. When required, you have to speak up. Always in a talking mood, ready to talk, but does not rush in words. But most important thing, speak sense. Speak sense. You all are clever guys, you said that. I didn't say that you patted your own backs. Right? So, when you speak, you have to think carefully, look at all the repercussions and speak sense. And don't rush in words. If you got to say something, say that. Write well is another huge area that our engineers are lacking. Writing well. That's why you are putting you through a very rigorous B paper. I mark B papers. I see blunders upon blunders upon blunders. I'll come to that in a moment. I don't want to do that. I want you to write well. Now you have about 3 months now before the exam. If you feel that you are weak in writing, I am open. You can get my email address from anybody. Send me some sample answers to the questions that you are there in the B paper. I'll correct and send you. It's an open invitation. Not many people will do that. Write well, grammatically correct, and sensible writing. I'll show some. Then my last lecture, I'll show you some examples of how to write well. In whatever you write, the most important thing, fiercely careful about accuracy. And my boss used to say, Shavi, be careful when you write. Once you write, you can't retrieve. Once you say something, you can say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Right? So be very careful in your writing. Once you put it down in writing, it's black and white. Unless you withdraw it in black and white, you're committed. දැන් අපි කට්ටිය භාගය මැරිකල් ඉන්නව නේද? බෙදලා ඉන්නේ කොට බෙදලා ඉන්න කට්ටිය. කො මැරි? ප්ලීස්. අස්සම් කරා නේද අර ලයින් එකේ ගිහලා අපි. දැන් අදින්න පුළුවන්ද ඒක? ලීසේ අද ගන්න පුළුවන්ද? අස්සම් කරමු කොලේ. We have to go to courts. So just like that. And engineering document, if you put your signature for a structural drawing or any drawing, for electrical engineering drawing, you put your signature. If something goes wrong, you are culpable. You can be taken to courts. Better be very careful of what you are writing. Fiercely careful about accuracy. Good manners, courteous and well-mannered. Those days, I told you the people did not care about engineers because they spoke in filth. Right? Now you can't speak in filth to the engineers anymore, people anymore. You have to be courteous. You can't be rough. My wife those days used to tell me I was a bit rough in speaking to people at various places. I've corrected myself for the last 36 years. Right? I corrected myself to speak courteously. You got to learn something. I'm not saying that all of us are perfect, right? So learn these things. You got to be courteous as engineers. Dress well. I see a lot of people dressing well today, right? Of course, I don't mind. And I'm going to, if there's time, I'll on the last day, a small module on how to dress well. If time permits, I'll do that. And be smartly dressed to suit the occasion. Read well. When I say read, there's so much of listening and media, or reports, news channels, technical reports, journals. It's very important that you read the journals. You get a lot of journals, right? Engineer journal, if you're an IESL member, then if you are in any of these international societies like ICE or ET or whatever, you get journals. Right? All kinds of journals are there. At least make it a point to read one article that interests you. Right? People have forgotten reading. I'll tell you that. I'm going to ask you to show your hands who read. If I ask you, I'm sure I'm going to get a very, very poor response from you. But you have no excuse. All my engineers, I used to tell them, your work is 50% in the field, 50% reading. No excuse. Take it from me as a person who has done engineering for 36 years. If you don't do reading at least 50% of the time, maybe your letters, never mind, or reports, never mind, you cannot be a good engineer. I'll guarantee you that. If you are pitching to be a high-end engineer, if you don't read, okay, you'll be an engineer anyway. Nobody is going to deny that fact. But your rating will go down. Always remember that it's a very competitive environment. Right? You will not get the increments and the favors from your employer if you don't perform. If you want to perform, the recipe is here. Write read, dress and speak. Listen. Key things you got to do. And nothing to substitute the work hard. Just because you're an engineer, you can't say, my God, I'm living a cushy life. Those days are gone. The days that people had a very comfortable life as engineers are gone. Well, I didn't have that luxury. Some of my bosses had that luxury. Every day they used to go at 12 o'clock sharp from the office, the chauffeur-driven car, home, eat, put a nap and come at 2 o'clock and start work again. We had that kind of engineers. When I joined the CB, we had that kind of engineers. They live in luxury. Can any of us do that now? No way. No way. Don't be deceived. There are no luxury life for us anymore. It's a hard life. So work hard. Are you ready to face challenge? Yes. Are you ready to face challenge? Are you ready to face the challenge?
Yes.
This is what you say. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
I can see some nice smiles. Good. I'm very happy. This is the challenge you have. Meet the sumo wrestler out there in the field. But hey, there's something. If you want to do that, you have to tell this. You have to have a firm conviction in your mind. If I can't, who can? This is what I told you. Sometimes you get assignments that you think cannot be done. No way. No way I can't do this. I can do this. Decide. No way I can find the solution to this problem. If I said that, I am not here today. Everybody told me you can't do upper head project. I did it. I followed the Albert Einstein's statement. What did he say? Everybody told me no, you can't do it. Therefore, I did it myself. My good friend is coming the moment I said about upper. If I listened to the others and said you can't do upper, I wouldn't have done it. So always believe, if I can't, who can? If I can't do the job, no one can. So take up the challenge, any job. And there's another guy there who has taken up challenges. He's managing Colombo City. You can ask him the problems he is facing. And if he is sulking and saying, my God, I can't do Colombo City, my God. He believes and we believe, if I can't, who can do that job? So you have to have the firm conviction, nobody else can do it if I can't. That's the first thing. But after doing the job, here comes the bigger problem. After doing the job, you must be humble enough to say, if I can, who can't? That is your role as an engineer, a mentor, a leader to your peers and the subordinates. If I can do it, my colleague can, my friend can, my subordinate can. How do I do it? I have training. So that is your responsibility as a chartered engineer. A mentor. After achieving something, you have to mentor the other people. You have to show them, you have to lead them to do things that you did. So your job doesn't end up by overcoming the challenge. Once you overcome the challenge, you have to train others to overcome their own challenges as well. So that is an enormous responsibility, my friends. So just becoming a chartered engineer and getting 3 letters behind your name is not going to end your day. You have to mentor the people. You have to allow other people also to flourish as you have done. That's your responsibility. That's what IESL is expecting you to do. Okay, now get on to the more basic things of the project review exam. All this time, I spoke about general engineering ethics and general engineering responsibilities of a professional engineer. Now, for us to do that, For us to assess and find out if you are capable of doing that, we do three things. We put you through a Viva Voce. So Viva Voce, we know Viva. Well, the full word is Viva Voce. It simply means in Latin, tell it in words. Tell it in words what you know. Right? So you are facing an interview by senior people to tell it in your own words what you know about your career, about your technical achievements, about the research that you have done, about the design that you have done. Tell it in words. Viva Voce. And immediately after that or sometime after that, we put you through the A paper. Right? And that is, we are testing your knowledge based on the interview to check if you are bluffed at the interview. I do that. When I come to interview, I always pick up something that he has said, thinking that he has bluffed. I pick up that and put the question. So if you get me as a panelist, good luck. Better not tell me lies. So all the senior engineers know how when you lie. So that means when you come and talk sense. Once again, talk of things that you have done. That means you have to do things. Okay? When you come to the professional review. So Viva Voce and the A paper will test your knowledge and experience and the like. And the B paper which we are talking about is aimed at testing the candidate's knowledge on engineers' role in society and general affairs. Actually, this B paper is something akin to the Engineering Society paper of the Council of Engineering Institutions, CEI of UK, right? Of course, it's different. If you look at the Society of Engineering Society papers, they are very general topics and challenging topics. Fortunately, in the IESL, we don't give that such challenging topics, but we do give you some topics that can be very challenging. And as an examiner of some of your papers, I see they are very challenging. Some people simply cannot answer these papers. So this is why you got to train yourself. I told you very openly, if you have some tough problems, write a question, answer and send me. I'll give you my feedback. Right? So B paper is aimed at testing the candidate's knowledge on engineers' role in society and general affairs. Where you are supposed to work for the society. So we check your knowledge, how you feel about the society, and how you address and your knowledge about the matters in society. What do we examine at IESL B paper? In Engineering Council UK, examination there is a specific subject called Engineer in Society. We at IESL call it B paper. And we test the knowledge on general issues faced by engineers and the society they work in. We test your general issues faced by engineers and the society they work in. Right? But we have a syllabus which is very wide and related to day-to-day issues we as engineers face in society. How many have looked at it? How many, just show me your hands. How many have looked at your B papers, past B papers? No one. Dead silence. B paper, do you know there is a B paper? Do you know? No one has seen the past papers? They are all available now. In the IESL. I don't know if it is available in the website. Is it available in the website? No one has seen the B paper? Never in your life? Anyone has seen? Please. Be genuine. No one. I will tell you terrible. Terrible is the least word that I can use on you. Atrocious. Unthinkable. Hopeless. So I am coming for the last lecture, and before that I want everyone to have gone through the B paper. Have some kind of understanding about the B paper. Right? So please do your homework. Have you gone through have you gone through the lectures done last year? It's all over on the YouTube. Have you gone through them? Listen to them. The whole lot of lectures done by various eminent people, and some of them may not take the lecture this time. but it's available in the archives, IESL. Anybody has listened to any of these lectures? No. Hopeless, once again. So next time before you come, at least listen to a couple of lectures. Don't listen to mine because you have to listen to me again. Right? Listen to some of the lectures, good lectures. It's important that you listen to them and get some knowledge of what people are talking about, what senior engineers are saying about engineering. Are you aware of the structure of B paper? At least that. Are you aware of the structure of the B paper? How the B paper is made? Are you aware? Yes or no? Yes or no? No. Once again, hopeless. I'm sorry to say this. I'm going to moon that up. Kissimo adapted the cut. B paper, you are trying to sit for the B paper, or not even having an idea about the B paper. Do you know there are two sections in B paper? Yes or no? Have your colleagues not told you? Have your friends not told you? Those who have done the charter? What are you doing? You are talking to your friends. You are talking to your friends. Come on, change yourself. Please, for heaven's sake. For your own sake, not my sake. Not even for the heaven's sake, but for your sake, please talk to your friends who have done the B paper and ask them, Machan, go over the B paper again. What is the structure? Okay, let me tell you that. So there's no point in asking, have you gone through past papers and attempted to do them? Or kupi dalne tam, hum kupi patakate the. Kupi. Kupi dalne then? I know there are a lot of people putting kupi. No kupi? No, yes or no? Yes or no? Ayo. Pathetic. To say the least, pathetic. You got to do all these things. You got to go through the B paper. You have to attempt some of these questions, and you have to speak to your colleagues who have done the B paper before and who are chartered engineers. Ask them what does it look like. Please look at this paper and try to attempt them. And you also, if you have some group of people who are doing the exam, get together and answer some of the questions and together and discuss these things, at least for the sake of passing this exam. Okay? So the B paper structure is like this, and emphasis. We are checking your communication skills for sure. Code of conduct, called code of ethics also, and awareness of events taking place in the society. So three things: your communication skills, your knowledge on the code of conduct, and your knowledge on the events taking place in the society. So all these things we are checking in the B paper. It's a tough call. Out of the questions in section 2, okay, there are two. All right. The written paper B would be 3 hours duration and it consists of 2 sections. Section 1 will be on engineering ethics and code of conduct, while section 2 will be on topics based on issues taking place. It's very sorry, I have changed the font color, right? Issues taking place in society, both local and foreign. It's a wide menu. And in other spheres other than engineering that have direct impact on the society. So things that are taking place in the country and overseas, and of course on engineering subjects, as well as subjects that are not related to engineering at all, like economics, foreign policy, not related to engineering, but we are testing you. So better be careful, better be equipped. So when you have large menu, you have a problem. When you go to a hotel and you get a long menu, you don't know which one to select. I have seen that people trying to do that. So you have a large menu, but be careful, because you can't target a certain question and go, you may not get that question this time. So you have to have broad knowledge, that is of many things. That's why you have this series of lectures. So out of the questions in section, once again I must caution you, there can be questions on things that we have not spoken about in the class. There can be questions that are not at all related to the subject that we discussed here. Right? So it's open. Because examiners are quite different to the people who give the lectures. Be careful about that. Examiners are totally different people to those who deliver the lectures. I am not setting questions. I do mark questions. Right? So, I am not setting questions on what I am saying, but I am going to set questions on something else. So then I mark. I don't do that lecture. I know what he has told. Right? So out of the questions, section 2, some of the questions, I will say half, some of the questions will be on topics of general nature, where specific knowledge about the area subjected to the question is not necessarily required to answer them, some general things. So there we are testing your own interpretation of the issue. You need not be an expert, but you must be having sufficient knowledge to answer that question. You are not required to have a deep analytical knowledge on that particular question. But as a common man, because you are serving common man people, you have to have a good knowledge of how to address that particular issue. That's what you are checking. Now here, the candidates are usually asked to analyze, express opinions, comment, give views and elaborate on the subject. So you can completely defer to the subject, the question that is posed to you, and give your own opinion, and we appreciate that. But that doesn't mean to say that you have to write nonsense. There is something sensible to convince the examiner that you have analyzed the problem that is posed to you and give your own independent view. That's very important. Your independence is very important. Your independent judgment is very important, and that we check. A candidate who is generally sensitive to what is taking place around him and who can form his own opinion about them should be able to answer these questions without any difficulty. So all those who have a very good broad knowledge and who are always having an inquisitive mind, who are always questioning things, can find it very easy to answer these kind of questions and form your own opinion and express your opinion is very important. The other half of the questions, or the other part of the questions, is based on specific pre-identified areas. You'll see when you look at the papers. But the papers can be different. I will warn you. Candidates are required to answer 4 questions, selecting 1 from section 1, only 1 from section 1, and 3 from section 2, altogether 4 questions. The candidates can select any mix of questions irrespective of type only in the section 2. Section 1 has only 2 questions and you have to select one of the 2. And section 2 may have about 8 questions or 10 questions. You can select any 3 out of them. I am sure you had done about thousands of exams from your year 1. However much you had done exams, I find that you have not even looked at the past papers. You don't know the structure. And this has become a huge problem for us as examiners. We find some people answering both questions in section 1 when it's clearly written. And as exam hall, we clearly tell them to write only one question from section 1. So they fail. On section 2, we have no problem. You can select any 3, but select 3. And recently I saw a person who has answered 5 questions. Why? Why do you waste your time? It's not the best of the 5 that you are getting marks. You are only wasting your time, because we give you a question that will fill in all but the time that is given to you. It's not like the A-level class or something, where you can do some of the questions faster and then save time and go through that and do all kinds of nonsense. These are targeted questions to occupy the time. You make sure that we make sure that you write 3 hours, not 2.5 hours. I find some people writing for 2.5 hours, 2 hours 50 minutes and running away. It's useless. You have to write for 3 hours. Be prepared for that. We are going to check your communication skills. Candidates are okay. Each question will carry 25 marks, and the pass marks will be our paper will be 50. So we give out of 25, average it up to 100, and the pass mark is 50. So I will still be testing you on communication skills. The art of communicating clearly, concisely, and intelligibly in English. I have seen, believe me, some people writing singular words in English. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? I have seen some people writing Tamil words in English. Can you believe it? People are going to be chartered engineers. You have to believe me. So no nonsense. We tolerate only English. The art of structuring an answer is very important. The beginning, I will be telling you how to do that at the last lecture. The beginning, the body, and the conclusion. It's not you are answering a mathematical question. They are all descriptive questions. So you must have at least these three things. The beginning, introduction, the development of the argument, and the conclusion. All that has to be there in your answer. Presentation, the flow. You can't be starting by saying something and next paragraph you can't be saying something completely different. There should be a flow of development of your argument. Transition from one point to another. So generally one point should lead to the other. Proper use of paragraphs. How many of you have used paragraphing from grade 5? I think I started learning about paragraphs in grade 5. Why do you separate paragraphs? One issue per paragraph. One concept per paragraph. One thing in a paragraph. I have seen people writing many things in one paragraph. As I have seen people equally writing the same thing in 5 paragraphs. That means you have not learned your basics all these years. So I am telling this in advance. Please don't do that. Right? So paragraphing is important. Writing grammatically correct English is very important. I'll tell you about that in the last lecture. Spellings is very important. Writing answers to the point is the most important. Where are you going? Coconuts in the basket. You know what that? What is that? What is that? Where are you going? Coconuts in the basket. Where are you going? Coconuts in the basket. You can have coconuts in the basket, you will not get your marks. I feel so sorry for our chartered engineers. For the engineers who are going to become chartered engineers. I definitely fail. Right? So better be very careful to write to the point. If you don't know, don't write. Write to the point. That's very important that you know, understand the question properly. Ethics and code of conduct. Refer to the IESL publications. There is enough literature on the web if you browse through on the engineering ethics, code of conduct. Especially from the Engineering Council UK, there are a lot of nicely written articles. And Mr. Engineer Russell Diesel is going to do that lecture, and also he is going to set this particular question. That's the only one who is lecturing and giving the questions. Engineer Russell Diesel is a master on that. So please listen to that lecture. It's very important, and that is our Panchasila. We are Ashtasila. We have 8 rules, clauses. So Christians have Dasapadanata, Islamists have Panchasila, you know, and Buddhists have Panchasila. For engineers, your Sila is the code of conduct. Your Sila is the code of conduct. When you break the 5 precepts, you feel bad. Right? You feel bad somewhere here. Ada mama biwa. Upset ponna. Kawan. Ang eka gila sini robi ino. Emang gila kata Surabaya le gila ni. So just like the Panchasila, the code of conduct is for the engineers. You can't break it. You can't break it. For heaven's sake, don't break it. You can't break it. If you break it, there are ways to punish you. Not like utter the hammer, but we have ways of punishing you. And make no mistake, we have punished people. So, issues affecting society, social, economical, political factors, gender issues, behavioral sciences, national development, industry, commerce, role and responsibility of the engineers as a member of society and as a professional, public perception of engineers. Very wide topics, strengths, opportunities and threats to the profession, role of the civil society, environmental issues, emerging technologies, international affairs, government national policy and Sri Lankan economy. So we have wide menu of things to check you on. Major infrastructure projects taking place and the plan, what is planned for the future. So we might ask you questions on what is your opinion on a particular mega project. I'm not giving questions, right? Maybe somebody is going to ask you that. We better be prepared to have good wide knowledge on these things. Also listen to the lectures on specific topics arranged by the IESL from time to time, and in the series of lectures last few years on which few questions will be directly based upon. So go and listen to these on the YouTube. Why do students fail in the B paper? You will be surprised. Students do not work hard as much as you said you had not worked hard already. So today you have started working hard on the B paper. And prepare adequately. Attempt some of the questions. Do it in groups and write the answers and compare the answers. To meet the requirements, as you did in the school. School, didn't you study? Did you revise? Universities, IESL examinations, you had done that kind of thing earlier. They do not read technical literature. I keep on repeating this matter, not only you all, for everybody. People don't read technical literature. National newspapers, they don't read. International journals are simply not interested in topics other their own area of specialization. Somebody is standing there? Okay. So, so some people don't bother about the other areas of engineering. You can't do that. You are living in the society. The problems faced by the candidates. The problems faced by you all and their weakness have been identified to be the following. This after, as I said, about 20 years of my association with the B paper. Poor reading habits. I keep on telling this over and over again. I cannot emphasize this more. You have very poor reading habits, then you fail. Those who have good reading habits have no problem in passing this exam. Lack of knowledge on common affairs, especially politics, economics, social issues. They are not subjects outside the gambit. They are subjects within our realm of affairs. You got to know these things. Inability to correctly understand the question, because the biggest problem I have, right? I can give you 101 examples from the past papers. You just simply don't understand the question. If you don't understand the question, don't attempt it. Please try to understand the question, take it into your head first and then write. Spending about 5 minutes on understand the question is well worth it. When you're doing the A-level exams, we know we used to have done so much of past papers. The moment you see the question, you will answer. That I did in my telecommunication. I got a very bad experience. Those days I had a, what you call that, pulse width modulator and some other modulator. I mixed up the two because there was a tutorial on the pulse width and the other frequency. No, I can't do it now. Right, some kind of modulation. I mixed up two and wrote the question. Fortunately, I passed the telecom paper anyway. Right? That we do sometimes, but here there's no chance. You got to understand the question properly. Right? And enable structure a response to a question. Enable structure response. Now there was a question. My God. The moment I saw the first page, I was thrilled because before that person answered the question, that person put the mind map. Beautifully written. This is how the flow of the ideas will be. Well structured. Then turn the page. Only half a page answer. The person, I did not give any marks. I don't give any marks. The mind map was perfect. The structure was there. But that person thought writing the structure is enough for the examiner to understand. No, it's a written essay type question. Writing half page, no good. Writing one page, no good. At least try to write about 3 to 4 pages. Not nonsense, facts and substance. Facts and substance. That means you must have the facts and substance. Right? So I'm giving you the guidelines. Enable to write clearly and concisely. That is why your English knowledge is important. Problems with English language, plenty. I feel really sorry for the knowledge of the English. I'm going to talk about that in the last lecture. To overcome these problems, a series of lectures are conducted about 3 months before the PR examination. IESL hopes that the series of lectures and interaction with the eminent resource persons who are going to come and talk to you will help candidates to overcome their weaknesses before the examination and enable them to face the paper with greater degree of confidence. Right? IESL do its part. What do you have to do? Attend these lectures as much as possible. If you miss it, look it up in the website. It's there in the YouTube. You can miss some of the lectures, no problem. You have missed some of the lectures earlier, but it's all available in the YouTube. It's about 2 hours in duration, some hour and a half. Listen to them carefully and try to understand what the lecture is trying to say. Read articles of national interest, especially on engineering related issues and the issues that impact the national economy, international relations, environment. Attempt the past papers and write answers to those questions and check it with the resource persons. So don't always send me the answers. When the other people come, just go and ask them, sir, can I send you an answer, will you accept it? Right? Most of them will oblige. I will most do so in my subject areas. I am not a Bahusruta, so I'll have very limited knowledge, but I'll do that. If I can't get it done, I'll give it to someone who can do it. Okay? If you are not quite competent in English, please follow an English course. English is not our mother tongue. So you got to learn English. If you have not learned English the proper way, you have 3 months to go and brush up your English, the grammar and the spellings, everything. You have 3 months, it's sufficient for people like you who are mature. Take a good English course. Don't feel shy. So these are the topics I am going to go through. These are all available in the website. Let's look at these awful pictures. And I am going to ask you the question, who is responsible for those? Electrical short circuit caused this fire. Who is responsible? Who is responsible? Who? Are you shy to say who is responsible? Who is responsible for this? Huh? Who? Done. Tell me who is responsible. Mama Nemini. Aru. How Aru? Mama. You and I are responsible. We engineers are responsible for this. Don't put the blame on anybody. And more importantly, electrical engineers. I am an electrical engineer. Electrical engineers are responsible for this. Who is responsible for this? Once again, the same factory. Sakala Sirimperi Sri Lanka. Who is responsible? Who is responsible? Not me. Not me. Tell me, who is responsible? Who? Who? Kata හැරෙන්නේ කියන්නේ නේ. ලැජ්ජයි. ලැජ්ජ වෙන්න එපා ඇත්ත පිළිගන්න. It's a very old building. The municipal engineer should have known to either get it repaired or ask him if it's a heritage building, ask him to keep it as a heritage building and get it repaired and strengthen the building in time. Public hazard in Sri Lanka. The largest man-made engineering disaster happened in Dhaka. දැන් බලන්න කොච්චර 1100ක් මැරුණා. ලක්ෂ ගාණක් මිනිස්සු බලන් ඉන්නවා. ලංකාවෙත් එහෙමනේ. මොකක්ද වෙච්ච ගමන් we are all looking to see, my God, the fun. My God. ඒ ගෙදරකින් කියන්න පුළුවන් නේ ගෑනිට. කඩන් වැටුණා මම දැක්කරනේ අම්මා නියමයි වැඩේ යා. වෙඩි ගියා වගේ මල් ගියා වගේ. මල් 7යි. බලන් ඉඳලා මල් 7යි අපිට වේවා. ඒ තාත්කරු කියන්න පුළුවන් how the disasters happen. But these are all engineers made disasters. Engineers made these disasters. Who is responsible? This funny looking. This was in a weekend newspaper. I took it from there. Right? There was a funny caption and there was a joke in the newspaper. In Sri Lankan newspaper. Right? අපිට හිනාවෙන්න පුළුවන් අනිත් උන්ට අනිවාර්යයෙන් this in it says Fungzhu, so it must be in China. මාර බයිට් කරන්න පුළුවන් චීනෙක බයිට් කරන්න පුළුවන් අපිට. මේක දාලා බයිට් කළද බෝ චීනෙන්ම. In Sri Lanka. That's what you are very clever in doing that now. To find fault with other people. What happened here? Where is this? Where is this? Does anyone know RDA? Where is this? There was an RDA boy, right? Where is this? You know where it is? What is the bridge? In which part of the country? බලන්න මම කිව්ව බොරුද? වැස්සේ කුඩක් තල්ලම් බලන් ඉන්නවා අම්බි මාර වැඩි. ලෝරිය කඩන් වැටලා පල්ලෙහාට මාර ජොලි. 15ත් එක්කම කඩන් වැටලා. Sri Lankans are good in watching. Right? This is in Dharnegala. Okay, so we can't afford to laugh at others. The problem is if technologists and technicians try to do their job of engineering, this will happen. That's why I told you right from the beginning, you are supposed to solve complex engineering problems as professional engineers. You can't allow the technicians, electrical technicians to go and design a building and do the wiring. You electricians have to do that so that buildings don't catch fire. Right? The civil engineer has to do the proper structural drawings. You can't allow a technician to do anything that they like, the bosses to put any mix of concrete they like, any amount of rebars they like. You got to properly design it. Don't allow the job of the engineer to be done by the technicians and the technologists. If you do that, these are the results. These are the results. But are we prepared to face challenge? Can we confidently say that we engineers in Sri Lanka will not let this happen again in this country? That's why we are training you. That's why we are putting you through a tough process. That's why I'm impressing on you the responsibility of becoming a chartered engineer. That's why we are doing all this to make sure that Sri Lanka will be a better place. To society that we are supposed to serve. So can IESL show that our chartered engineers are in a position to avoid this kind of disasters? The answer is in your hands. No one else. How about some general knowledge? What is SEPA? SEPA Pavahan? What is SEPA? Anybody? Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. NATO. No action talk only. Northern Atlantic Treaty. Only one person knows everything. So you stop talking, right? No, it's okay. Good. I'm so happy. But I want some others to answer now. NATO means North Atlantic Treaty Organization. How many of you knew that? What is GATT? What is GATT? What is GATT? Those who import, export? Yes. General Agreement on Trade and Tariff. Those who import things will know this, that there are a whole lot of rules under the GATT. The Incoterms, do you know the Incoterms when you open a letter of credit? What each of these terms mean? You got to know these things. Those who at least do the work that is here to import and exports. That's why I told you that chartered engineers can't fold their hands and say, I am only doing engineering. No way. You got to have very good knowledge of all these things. General agreement on trade and tariff. What is SAPTA? SAPTA Kanya. What is SAPTA? Stop it. Okay, what is SAPTA? Nobody knows. Come on. Only one person knows. It's a shame. Please feel ashamed about yourself. You can afford to feel ashamed about yourself. They don't know these things. Because you will learn now. Please go home and start learning these things. Yeah, what is it? South Asian Preferential Trade Agreement, right? South Asian Preferential Trade Agreement. All these days we are talking about ETCA and all these kind of things. All these things have been spoken about in the media. But just imagine you have not at least taken bother to ask these questions. What is this meaning? So these are very important for engineers. Don't use words if you don't know. Right? South Asian Trade Agreement, SAFTA. Now it should be easy. You can make a guess. What is that? SAFTA. Any guess? Ah, yes, good guess. You knew that or you didn't know? You made a guess. Good. South Asia Free Trade Agreement. Now these are the results. I want the bottom line to go up. You can see how it's improving. We have been trying to coach you all. So from March to, I think early it was even horrible. It was 30s. It has been steadily rising. So September 2015 is 63% people who sat the exam passed. Good, but not enough. We want it to go to 80s and 90s. So still, I don't know why, what happened in March 2016, gone down again, caught up again. But at least this time we'll try to make it 75. Okay? So represent passing the exam. A few slides. How many of you have faced exams? Many of you. But unfortunately, these things happen. Can you assure us that this will not happen in the future? Anyway, you have no choice. I said, already decided to penalize you if you do these mistakes. To be very frank with you, we are going to surely penalize you if you do these mistakes. Write the correct question number. Even last time I had that problem. Sometimes you write the question number 5 and answer the question number 4. Can you accept this from responsible people? I give 0 marks. Would have been a good question. I didn't even look at it. You write question number 9 and answer question number 11. Nonsense. If you are not even careful with that, why should we pass you? So you get 0 marks. Write the correct index number in all pages. Sometimes pages get mixed up. We had difficulty, and there was one question that one page got 3 years ago, where we had to compare the handwriting and find whose paper this was, whose question this was. We will not do it again. That's about 3 years ago, right? So if you don't write the index number, you will not get marks. There are cases who don't write the index number at all. They write the correct question number to which they have answered. Some do not fill this. There's a summary sheet. So please fill the summary sheet and tell what are the questions you have attempted. Proper handwriting. Very difficult to read most of the handwriting. Next time I'll show you some of the samples. There were instances where the examiner has given 0 marks since they could not read the writing, because I do the moderation of the meeting. So I know what other people are also doing. Right? They are given 0 marks. When I looked at, nobody can read that question. So I know I also have a bit of bad handwriting, but My mother was a teacher. She taught me how to write the letters properly. Now, of course, I don't know. A is written like this, D is written like this, and when you do that, you don't find the structure of the letter. So when you are writing fast, there's a guy. I'll show you those samples later, right? You just cannot read the paper because the letters are not written the proper way. We used to write O like this. Now everyone likes O like this. Our teachers taught the correct way of writing using double ruled papers. So if you have not learned to write the letters properly, please get a book that how to write letters properly. If you write the structure letter properly, so like D like this, right? Even if you have bad handwriting, we know how to read it. That's something I learned through the hard way. Now my handwriting was bad, and my mother told me, write the correct letters the correct way. Right? So you write all kinds of letters in all kinds of odd ways, right? Then you can't read properly. Even if you think your letter is beautiful, sometimes we mistake the word, but the letters are written the wrong way. Read the instructions clearly before start writing. Some answer 5 questions. Some answer both questions in section 1. So these are the lineup of coverage. I think I told these people to update this. I'm not sure whether it's been updated, right? I think it's updated, yeah. Right, it's updated. Yes, it's updated. Very much. So this, if you get a good, get a copy of this one, you will see the paper. So that's all I have. I can now allow you to ask me a couple of questions. Any question? No question? Shall I become the general again? Huh? No, you don't want me to be general, right? Schoolmaster? Any question? No questions? Understood me perfectly? Or didn't understand me at all? What is correct? People don't ask questions if you don't understand anything. If you understand perfectly, which is correct? Is correct?
Is there any topic regarding the energy conservation?
I can't say because the examiners are different. So as I said, we have very wide menu of topics, and questions have come outside the topics that have been discussed here. But this is only a very few people come and listen. But the questions are for everybody. But that's a kind of a guideline on which you have to start. Okay? Thank you very much. Okay.